Hi, my name's John McCague. I'm licensed real estate representative with Lepage RCR at Alliston. I'm out on the road today and I wanted to take the opportunity to do a short video on electrical. So I'm in no way an electric expert as far as properties go. However, I do have many years of real estate experience. I was licensed since 2000, and so I've done an awful lot of home inspections. I've been involved in them, and I've heard from home inspectors. I've also talked to a lot of electricians, and they've given me a lot of advice as well. Also property owners. Some property owners are incredibly knowledgeable about electrical issues, and so I just wanted to take an opportunity to take all that experience and put it into a very short video. The electrical part of it is a very integral part of a home, any home, and what you want to make sure is on any home, regardless of the age, you want to make sure that you have adequate electrical power to the property and to the various buildings that are located thereon. So the old type of electrical was obviously the knob and tube. Now, knob and tube was used, you see it mostly in old century homes, and because of fire issues that they've had over the years, insurance companies greatly shy away from knob and tube. So if you're purchasing or you're selling a Victorian home or any property that has knob and tube, it's important to have that decommissioned and to upgrade your electrical, but remove all traces of the knob and tube if you can from the property, because even the sight of knob and tube on a property raises concerns. People often think that, well, if I see knob and tube in this location, where else is knob and tube on the property? So just to avoid any issues with obtaining finance on the property or insurance, you want to make sure that the knob and tube is removed. So on older properties, a lot of properties have fuse panels. So 60 and 100 amp fuse panels. They use fuses. What those fuses do is that they have a preload, and if that load exceeds that amount, what happens, the internal parts of the fuse melt, the link is severed, and the power is disconnected from the property. In order to regain power, you have to go down, you have to replace the fuse. You have to make sure, first of all, what the problem was, and so you have to make sure that you don't exceed that amount, replace the fuse, and you should be good to go again. The issue with fuses is that there's a limitation to the amount of power that they can use or allow, and some instances, financial institutions and insurance companies don't like the fuse panels anymore. So what you should do is upgrade to a circuit breaker panel. Now, circuit breaker panel, those are the new version. What it is, it's a circuit. They're usually 100 or 200 amp panels, and they're specific to a location in a house, and they're preset to a certain load, and if that load is exceeded, what happens is that the circuit breaker's tripped, and you have to go down to the basement or wherever the panel is and reset the breaker. The nice thing about that is that you just restart the breaker. You don't actually have to replace a fuse. So it's certainly more advantageous that way. A A lot of people years ago, they wouldn't have replacement fuses, so they would have to run it to the store, or they'd have to contact a neighbor or whomever. This is just a matter of resetting the circuit breaker. So, as I said, most houses today that are built have 100 amp service. Some of the larger houses, or houses that have exterior buildings on the same panel, or have swimming pools, large air conditioners, run a lot more power. Those are 200 amp service. It's not necessary to, on just a standard in-town property, to have a 200 amp service. That's kind of overkill. But on rural properties, it's more important to have that, because you just never know. There may come at some point where you decide that you want to put an addition on the house, or you want to put in a swimming pool, or you want to finish the basement, and it's just going to add that much more requirement to the electrical system. Another way of getting around, if you've only got 100 amp service, if you want to increase power, is put in a sub panel, which is a smaller panel that's attached to the larger panel, and it just increases the amount of power that you're allowed to run through the system. It's not the best way to do it, but it is a way of doing it. It's a cheaper way of doing it. The best way to do it is just to replace the panel and to increase it from 100 to 200 amp service. There's something called three-phase, and three-phase is for more industrial type properties. I get people coming sometimes and they'll say that they want to run like a small welding shop or something like that, which takes an awful lot of power, and you need three-phase. So not all properties are set up for three-phase, but three-phase may be available. Where you quite often see the three-phase, or you see them close to towns and on main roads. How do you know if a property has or can be serviced by three-phase? Well, if it isn't already serviced by three-phase, what you need to do is you need to contact the local utility covering that area, and you can actually go to them. They have maps, and they can actually tell you whether a property is serviced or could be serviced by three-phase. Now, three-phase is quite often only at the road, so you actually have to run the electrical in from the road, and that can be a little costly. But if three-phase is something that's important to you, then you're going to incur that cost. I've dealt with three-phase in the past, and I've had to contact utility companies in the past. They're quite easy to work with. They're quite helpful and very knowledgeable. What you want to make sure is, you want to make sure if you need special electrical for a property, you want to make sure that you find out before you purchase the property and not after. There's been some hard luck stories where people have assumed that they can get certain services to a property, and in actual fact, after they've purchased the property, find out that they can't. So you want to get something, especially if you can get it in writing from the electrical company. That's the best way to do it. Anything in writing is far better than just word of mouth. A little information about electrical services of a property, whether it's residential or commercial. Feel free to contact me on electrical questions or real estate questions, anything related to real estate. I've been licensed since 2000, so I'm quite knowledgeable on all aspects, and I'm very knowledgeable in the area that I service. So I service Simcoe County. I also service Dufferin, Peel, and York counties. Feel free to contact me. My office is at 7 Victoria Street West in Alliston. My Local number is 705-435-3000. My Toronto line is 1-866-772-5368. My direct line is 705-791-2221. My email address is johnmccague@royallepage.ca. My website is www.johnmccagesells.ca. My Facebook business page is the symbol at John McCague Realtor. One of the greatest compliments I can receive is a referral of one of your family members or your friends. I would certainly appreciate the opportunity to work with them. Feel free to pass my name to them. I would love to hear from them. I would love to hear from you as well. Thanks very much for your time. Have a great day. Bye for now.